Let me ask you, when was the last time you forgot your key? Can't happen to me, I got mine implanted. I asked this piercer there, a very strong man without a neck, is it going to hurt? And he said, oh no, maybe a bee sting. I forgot my last bee sting, now I know it again. And afterwards, a real adrenaline rush. I was high the whole afternoon, and now I know why piercing is so addictive. When I asked my wife, she's a medical doctor, what she thinks about it, she said, are you crazy? Fiddling around with your body, who is going to take it out? I said, you, of course. It's very useful to be married to a medical doctor. Whenever I have an issue, she says, don't be so whiny. This looks a little bit dangerous, but I have a good insurance. As you know, I studied rocket science too. That's all the plan. I don't believe in the world domination of the megalomaniac super intelligence. And if it still happens, there will be good Terminators too, from Austria. And even if this would not work, I have this chip implemented. They are going to recognize me as one of their own. Who sees the dolphins? The dolphins? Someone over there? So, who sees the dolphins now? Actually, children only see dolphins. So if you didn't see the dolphins in the beginning, it's no problem, it just means you have a healthy sex life. Sorry, some saw the dolphin, but it's going to get better. You might need 50 people, which means you need to remember 1,200 connections, but that's not enough. You need to remember how all these connections change. For example, spousal relationships. Very important to not make a mistake there. For 50 people, this is already 10 to the 64 different combinations. You have to remember, if it's 150, it's 10 to the 260. And that's actually the maximum capacity of our brain. You cannot have more than 150 friends, whatever Facebook is going to tell you. So how would you get all this information? This information we call gossip. Gossip is equivalent to surveillance. Whom of you ever lived in a small town, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You not only can't scale this on a brain, you cannot scale this on a computer. But what we have in mind, if we listen to Edward Snowden, and then we think this can be done on large scale, but it can't. It is not impossible. So why would the NSA not use this argument in its defense? Why, and this goes back to the beginning of a religion, why do we behave good if we are alone? Because God is watching, God sees everything, and God is very impatient. The psychology calls us the invisible surveyor. Nietzsche said God is dead 100 years ago, but now we have the NSA. And the Bundestrojaner, of course, don't forget in that. The computer actually is the first tool without a specific use. It's the purposeless machine. You can do accounting and then you switch to game and then you do word processing. If you ask me who is responsible for Trump, who is responsible for Brexit, I'd say it's us. We created the tools, like Twitter, Facebook, Cambridge Analytica, you all read about that. And then we kept our mouths shut. We did not tell society, we let it run into an open knife. More than that, the gospel of digitalisation says there will be wonderful new jobs, but not for you. And if normal people hear that, they're going to vote for demagogues. They fear for their future. And what we now have is a democratization of fear for the future. because now we have Trump, now we have the Brexit, so even we could not needed to fear for the future, even we with Trump now can fear for the future. We have a great power to change the future, and as Peter Parker already said, with great power comes great responsibility. Thank you very much.
We do understand that we do have the technology available, but how is this actually affecting the companies itself?
Obviously there is a change inside the companies, and I believe that now data-rich markets, data can replace a lot of the functions that companies had in the early days. So lean management actually is a result of email. Most of the companies in Germany are small. They are very well prepared for that digital change because they already had to compete in markets, and markets are becoming much bigger, and I see no reason why we need big companies.
I'm not really sure, especially the SMEs, if they're really able to change.
It's the people who have to change, and the people have to become entrepreneurs. That's why the startup movement is so important. There is where all the change comes.
At the end, there's always a question how to reduce fear.
Yes.
For examples like Cambridge Analytica are not really reducing fear.
As computer scientists, as data scientists, we have to learn that we actually change the world. And this brings a big responsibility. We really have to understand now the power structure has changed, and that's the real revolution. The power no longer lies by big old school companies.
Do you think that all employees could change and that they can get agile in this moment?
Now, as people, we tend to be conservative, we tend to be pessimistic, but I think for pessimism it's much too late.
There's one off-topic question. There's really one important off-topic question, and please don't be angry about this. Some people were asking for your shoes.
Yes.
Where you did get your shoes from?
Salamander. It's
Salamander. Okay. Let me know this, so I do all this also of interest for you. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the conference.